translate it and translate.
All right.
Yeah, we shall be.
All right, okay. Afo betak we konga attempt to dwako kom dok pa chakula jimeno. Actually apenye mapole chaka penye no berenga. Chiu tieru nga ma eni beri mabe. Kina beno wajini en chawri jima kapiara ngani werio is 42 years. Anyuli me Uganda. Dok bene edana furitiri en machel iberu ngar chel ben beru la politician iberu MP ben kar mo karangech. Dok bene iberu ngar chel ben noni iberu la biachara ti dana mbere nyome tibere ki family ma mege menu man no ko men donc bene apenye kin ma campaign chaka kere wo chaka mabe chabera yo mokara ngi beno ni alis no campaign para ti endo chero bale mere kamo kene men noni tele chako ne kin ka chile go bere jomo kene ti bana penye ni pen chaka ne bere ko kom team ma mege ni genu yera man jom pole support chamo gi chergi gi gore ko gi dugo gi chako dugo ma polo wo dore bere tinga gi pen I check pad me dore ye wajini dong me dore mer procession mi report me so noni ma penye bena doke wajini ma chel gin matie ni ene titi to kelwak ma chwa eni ma chel peke kil wo ma ken peke gam dog la gok be ma ken peke lok dom ken pepe ngi chile kila kiri mono gina ende waj bod juma chwa en no jui ka mo ken kam worye bar penge ngo ma de timela la bone me we chire le ko tim di gen pe chero malu peke no what campaign mege mon me robera team of course I lego body ni na matin so polare tino kani ene bera waj kilwak ma chwa benen me ke wajini wunu chwa en pe obet joma wo po joma actually joma kel wo joma no nya ka view okay political bodu kumeno do penye benen kin jimo kene ma perte ak ma tamani no timo no pe pianyole mi Uganda ene chakulo ni loko ma pekete ken bena waje lokom yupuguri ni benane kayda ngene ti president mi Uganda ibiti yuma takwana ni guri ma papa mande ken peng ki yuba gberebe eno kogni kene ngamende pa president Museveni o yuba guri Uganda pasana pa ken barana penye bene kene yo Uganda yuba kene lam ay kan ngor dok pitere juba dok kene wa ene mono pasana pa kay por guri mi Uganda guri mo kene guri mi Uganda chaw kene guri no ne peki betu twal kinone e way lokom yuba nene ko ga bene ki dok chen ko chak ma chen ma chon pieni ka oberu ga yo achil me word mo bera ko ma poli kar mo karangi so nen ibinane inge mo kapit me berge president no inen lo ko ga ke do cheno chak tij be kilomera of course lokoma chamchana we chamchana ma chel tigina chel maraj ma ngini Uganda gan chamchana ber werong jui we ma chala en chakole ni binano ni lok ma chamchana ene binen lo ni ma tek in such a way ni ene bi chako ni ke giko kong kiro mario bi chako mako dano kiro bi chako pi kom jumo kene magok no gutimo gitimo chamchana ene pepe doke chen ilo ni ma tek ma pedong lar enum lokom ilo kergi lokom economy man wek lo ni beri ching dano we ma chel lokom fu e yedon gena pere tek lo Uganda kan ma mirni fu peke nen to gin meto to pen neno fu e pole rom mi utij ma pol bodano pena wa ben kan ibe mi utij marom a million pa bod jumo kene ala ibi no timrani way pole bi dok chen lokom fu e ilo kerme fu chen marom pen Ugandans nyanyul mi gane ko lok me fu pole ke ken we tamani lokom fu bi nyaay tij ma pol nen ke do cooperative chen ke mer budget me fu cher malo we ka dano jinker ken me fu we fu beta bero twal enum apenya bene pe lokom yorkom wajima chel enmiri e pen malobe ke Abuja declaration man ka chokoma dim beri Abuja karmo karangech mamirni budget alis ma chelo kom yorkom lo moy ken karo no 20% or to pa via bichel none mana yang Uganda katiki budget pole mana budget me yorkom pe pasana part wala gi pasana bichel pasana boro karo raj gok no pachero kar kuno we tamani enbi tikilo kingo ki Abuja declaration ma ke wajani umerke neni lokom yorkom pasana betiwe pasana para bichel e ma gabi galim duju ibiti jimeno we actually yeru betien oriere hil kergi machine so betie tiju betio docteur chulgi mabe we dok ma jemo bet pere manu gi meno waje lokom yorkom ma peki tegru fal e utiana matin lokom pi maleng bene weti ken private ma mere pipe water nyo pi mbole mol ke pipe o bet ma poli kin ping i Uganda polika dujo pen wati ki pi ma do Uganda ma actually supplying pi i ka beri weng ma Uganda so lokom pi maleng tikin jema pere tek fal boten me tamani mergi tiye ma tek ana pende dum pe lokom ko mar kan piente tole kam nen wan wene no rope kan ma polo tole en dok yeni ma chel ko mar mi Uganda miro yub ma dok te pere kene borgi kene no pe kan ma dong ni chakama ke akel wen yub mo binu ko chakane poko ni ene mirni ma chalo en chakolo ni kada bini kom ni pap ibine no ni uruto ki kada ki yub mo ma dok pere kene man special program pe mar mi Uganda me ko nyu ken me we ko chak mo i ken me Uganda mo kan be tengwe kere me ken me lokre lokom ma ko mar mi ken me of course ilu kerme fu nen lokom ngom ke peke mayo we lokom balal futi America be tie lokom ngoma page pa ya lokotum ki lokma pol ma tega nen tadi ko maro may be tamani mere nen ni itiwe ma tek ma urtome ilu kwer pako man Uganda 11 mukene eno mito ligin ma penye trale ma tek bota chawala nyutina matin enege mana urto dok wiye kom dok ma pun ma logo botwa nyutina matin maybe Mr. Robert Chagula, let me get back to you. At least I've tried summarizing it briefly so that my other fellow people can also get it right about what you spoke about. And we are looking at let's handle the issue of investment. We have seen investors coming to Uganda, and how are you going to handle the issue of investors and investment in this country?
Please ask again, I'm sorry.
I am saying, let's look at investment and investors coming to this country.
Yes.
And how are you going to handle the issue of investment in this country?
Thank you very much. We love investment. Yeah, but the best attraction of investment is the rule of law. Is the peace which is not just pacifying, but real peace. And democracy. When a country has democracy, it will be an attraction.
Okay.
When a country is at peace with itself, it will be an attraction. So in order to attract investors, we are going to make sure that our country is admirable. But right now, even when you go to Google and type in Uganda, it will only bring for you the negative stuff. If it does not bring for you where police is beating people, it will bring for you when the police is torturing people.
Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, when you look at when you see the advertisement in Uganda, most of the adverts actually tends to advertise about the tourism potential of this country.
Come again, please.
I am saying most of the you said that the adverts when you Google about Uganda, you open Uganda, it shows only police beating people, police brutality. But also when you look at Uganda, Honorable Chagulanyi, we have seen once we are being advertised outside the world that there are also other tourism potential that is being advertised, and of course many tourists are coming to Uganda because of that of the adverts.
A country can advertise itself. You don't have to give the people advert. What happens in a country will be advertised by its potential in sports, in arts and culture. Look at a country like Jamaica. You do not have to put an advert on TV to market that country. It will market itself. And that is what we are looking at. We want a country to be free so that people desire to go there. Today, not only investors, but even tourists here to come into Uganda. So for us to invest better, first and foremost, we need to ensure that we have economic muscle for our people. If the citizens of Uganda can offer good market, then investors will throng into Uganda. And also the first line of investment should be Ugandans, because so much of what the so-called investors are doing, Ugandans can do. Look at the situation where a Chinese, a so-called investor, is selling pancakes. Now the so-called investors are also into retail business, and yet investors are not supposed to be in retail business. So before I even think about foreign investment, I have to look at the nationals, protect them, and then the second line is going to be foreign direct investment, which we shall promote, but we shall promote it by making sure that we have a stable tax regime, a favorable tax regime that does not milk our people dry, but empowers our people and thus gives them spending power.
Okay, that's about investment. Now we have seen northern Uganda, particularly. We don't have so many of these factories, and I don't know what would be your plan to enhance the level of industrialization, especially in northern Uganda.
I can tell you that northern Uganda is just as robust as all these other countries. Northern Uganda has fertile land. Northern Uganda has potential, but it is hard. Northern Uganda has talent, but it is hard to invest in a place which has been forgotten and isolated. I am sure as a journalist you must have seen what happened when I went to Madio Olo. I went to Madiokolo. The road is terrible. The power extension is terrible. There's no water line. So it is hard for people to invest there. The government has to do certain things to attract investment. Things like infrastructure. No investor is going to do that. Things like infrastructure, road and railway lines, that alone creates attraction for investment, and then others will follow suit. I can tell you that in northern Uganda, if the infrastructure is worked on, if the roads are worked on, the young, not just the young, the sons and daughters of northern Uganda will come back home to invest home. But as we speak, many of them don't even want to build their own houses back at home, or don't want to stay there because of the poor, terrible infrastructure. So let's promote infrastructure, and then everything else will fall in place.
All right, maybe because I also want to get feedback from outside from their listener, but of course, let's look at, we talked about poverty earlier on, but now we had so many government interventions to fight poverty in this country. Alternatively, how do you comment?
Those interventions are fake. Look, we had Bonaba Kakawale, we had Ntatikwa, we had Emioga, and now they're bringing CDM. All these are fake. All these
what makes you think? What makes you think that this is a fake program, Honorable Chagolanyi?
They are fake because they are not sustainable. Number one, they are not for the people. Even if it is the taxpayers' money that is being used, you will notice that just like Tandikwa or Youth Livelihood or Emioga or PDM, it is by NRM officials. It is made to just enable the people of Uganda and make them debtors. That is why we said that the people that have received that PDM money, once we take over, they should not pay it back. But we shall find other friendly ways to ensure that we empower the people of Uganda other than indebting them. You cannot just give somebody 1 million shillings and tell them to go and grow rich when you've not provided ideal ways for them to prosper. They will just go and start a small business which will die before a year passes. You'll agree with me that Uganda is the most entrepreneurial country in Africa. And yet, it is by UN records that in Uganda, 75% of the businesses don't survive beyond 1 year. Why is that? High taxes, the cost of money or high interest rates, and the terrible infrastructure, especially transport. So when we fix that, we will have fixed the country.
So what will you do to fix this? What are your alternatives to fix this?
But I've already told you that to fix this, we need to solve the problem of, number one, high taxes. You know? Number two, to cut down the cost of power. And number three, to invest in transport infrastructure. When we do that, that means even a young man in Kitgum who is starting a salon is not going to be antagonized by the high cost of electricity. A young man that is dealing in delivery will not be messed up by transport infrastructure. And this is not only in northern Uganda or rural areas, but even within the city. You'll agree that we lose 54 days in a year in the traffic jam. That is terrible infrastructure. The taxes are very high, and even the interest rate is high because the government is the highest borrower. We need to fix that to ensure that our young people can borrow, use money, not with prohibitive interest rates, and they will benefit from that.
Now, Mr. Robert, you talked about reducing on taxes. We have seen Uganda now laboring with burden of debts to pay. If you reduce the tax, where will you get the money to clear the debts that we have right now? Almost 100 trillion. How are you going to pay them back?
But we are 100 trillion, but please remember we lose 10 trillion every year, which is stolen. Okay? So, that and other areas will step in. Okay? We shall make sure that our mineral wealth is not limited to only one family. We export $2 billion worth of gold every year. This money is taken by Museveni's family alone. Okay? Museveni's family owns all the gold mines in Uganda. If a gold mine does not belong to Museveni, it belongs to Janet. If not Janet, it belongs to Saleh. If not Saleh, it belongs to Mohoz. If not Mohoz, it belongs to Sobe. We must recover from that. So other than sending the burden to the poor Ugandans, let us ensure that the money that we lose in corruption is saved, and that will help us.
Okay.
Yes.
And let me translate it back briefly, then I get back. We need to get feedback because there's so many people actually have questions for you as well on our social media platform this evening. And I'll get back to you. Now, I better look at Rita Chagolan, Malupe Kim, Lokom, Nyar Lonyo. My name to try to bottle pick Marocan, Kilokom, Jomagbian. Why my chili, Eben Payon, Pian Canano, Jomagbi came in a Chinese when Berucani, knowing. Gen Dr. Chato wala gara manu mi gara dongi wan gen be ku ya wonu rite dukan ma charman mage twera jema twera ne bene pin la nya no dong mero bin me noni pole en dong woro ma chinen pole charge mu muru en noni ko be chale en ibingi ma chel kon neno be berti kom ngo e kom neno ni anywele me Uganda e kon guno mo ko jema chal kumino kai compare ngo ki gen joma ke bien wo tino kani no be ne kon wana mi wan chak no ngo moje kan joma ke no pa iperam bien charla gara kuno gal mer wayo charre ki jëm kene eni biti meta ke dong men neno ni lok me wel match do ko ping ko kon kin me do chumo mo kene me do kay nen ko be chale futu gana papa match wel de la mal ma pelare mo ko chakene kin me nyaalo ni bene cherberu te tek twal board an wel mi gane kan ko man so e bi do wel match ping ki bene jëm kene ne timo ber twal alo ben lokom way bene bi do wel mu choro ping uru to pera ko be tek to cha penni kay do mu choro ping pin way ni mira to ngan ma dikin gang pija o ya belati do kana mo betie uru to nen kelme ile chera malo bar kelbe kumino mu choti la mal bar be do mu choro pen cha penye be ke do mu choro pen yugante ke banya chok filon mi chel ibiti mo ngombe timne we ma chel ibina no ni kongi nani jimati Uganda ma pit mati pa Ugandans nyoti pa nyole pa anyole Uganda kongi tikere ma chel lo nyome ngom ke bo kere matini mo ngom ke matini kinene ubet pa nyole po bet pa jomo penen ko